Another unboxing for you guys today. This is from Midway USA, and it looks like we're going to be able to start this Walther PDP build. You're looking at a Spyderco Salt 2, by the way. It's got this fantastic rust-resistant H1 steel with a drop point blade. This thing has been literally all over the world, exposed to all kinds of salt water, and it still lives to tell the tale. Under 2 ounces, too. Only complaint is that it doesn't have a deep carry pocket clip. What's up, guys? This is Essential Gear. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. So if you're considering putting a red dot on your carry or just want to watch me build this thing out, this is going to be the video for you. And yes, I know the world is a bit of a dumpster fire right now, so let's just decompress from that for a bit and talk about this Holosun HE508T-GR. Yes, that's a mouthful. But for the uninitiated, that means this has a titanium housing and features a green reticle with a flat top. Just looks a bit better than those rounded versions in my opinion, and yes, that does matter. The reticle can be switched from dot to a circle without a dot to that donut of death with a circle inside that we all know and love. Awesome capability to be able to switch back and forth. The question is, will I? I don't think so. I see myself sticking with that donut. The only way I would switch to the dot would be if it was a huge dot, like a very large MOA. Also, I should point out why I'm doing this build. I've never personally had a dedicated optic on a handgun. Now, I've grown to like having one, so I've shot some throughout the years and the last couple of months more often, and I really do notice more subtle movements during trigger pulls, and shooting with both eyes open is a bit more intuitive. So I thought I would explore the option just a bit more. Also, why green? Well, because science. Our eyeballs tend to pick up green better because it sits in the middle of our visible light spectrum. Basically, the physiology in our eyes, like the rods and cones, don't have to work as hard to see it. Shooters with nystagmatism might also get some relief with a green dot. I certainly fall into that category. The green just appears a bit less sun about to explode in a huge frickin' starburst to me, so I do like that. And you can access those different reticle modes by holding the minus button down. And the button themselves, they're okay. They rest just on the level of the housing. Good tactile and audio feedback when you are pressing them down with bare fingers. They should be a bit bigger though. Gloved hands are going to have a hard time finding and accessing buttons that size. Now, the idea is that you shouldn't have to all that much. Who wants to be messing around with buttons while you're in a gunfight or shooting, right? So Holosun has put this auto adjustment for bright and low light conditions into the optic. It's built right in. So basically, when that solar panel detects a lot of light, the reticle brightens, and when it senses darkness, the reticle dims. So does it work? Yeah, it seems to do just fine for me. Really good feature to have when transitioning from natural light to a dark room. If you've ever trained in a shoot house or cleared dark structures, there is a real possibility that you could move between light and low light very quickly. Another thing to note here is, will this optic work with a weapon light or handheld light? How will that reticle adjust when blasting that lightsaber of a Surefire into a dark room? I'll have to do some testing on that and report back. For me, that's going to be important because I like to keep a weapon light on all my defensive guns, because why not have that advantage? It does have a 50,000 hour battery life, which is extended with that shake awake technology, plus whatever you get from the solar panel on top. One of the best things about this optic is that you don't have to remove the entire thing to change out that CR1632 battery, because it has a side tray. 2 night vision settings as well for all you LARPers of the night out there. So moving on to what this optic will be mounted to. We have the Walther PDP compact with a 4-inch barrel and 15 round frame. So why the Walther? Well, this thing really is optimized for an optic. It has the Grand Canyon of cuts into the slide, allowing the optic to sit lower, plus I already know I like the way it shoots. I do get some VP9 SK vibes from it. Comparing the two, they're about the same time or about the same size in terms of grip when the HK has the 15 round magazine inserted. Now, Walther did opt for that American style magazine release instead of that paddle, which you find on the HKs. Now, when you're dropping the magazine on that VP9, it really does feel like you're driving a high-octane race car for some reason, but I understand that some people just don't like it. Now, the Walther 4-inch compact is roughly the size of a Glock 19 as well, if you're wondering. So not only is that grip texture fantastic, there are these naturally cut finger grooves on the grip. They run like waves rolling down the magazine well. Absolutely no need for aftermarket solutions like Talon grips or whatever you put on your handgun in the past to prevent a slippery grip. Now, Walther's tetrahedron performance duty grip texture, also a mouthful, is aggressive enough that you'll retain a grip if your hands get slick, but not rough enough that it'll catch your cover garment or bother most people. So also cavernous slide serrations there as well, like space gun deep. More to follow on the PDP later on in the series. So I was experimenting with one of my Olight Valkyrie Mini 2s on this Walther. I just don't like the way it looks because of the barrel length. Gonna have to find another option, probably not an X300, just because that tip is gonna stick way out. Not a fan of that. So the Olight still does fit perfectly on what remains my carry gun, the SIG P320X Compact. Alright, let's get this plastic cover off. This is a number 2 plate from Walther, by the way. Doesn't fit as snugly as I would like. There is a bit of a wiggle in there. But nonetheless, the show must go on. The 2 screws that held down the plastic plate now function to anchor the new plate. The screws come with Loctite from the factory, and those usually hold up okay, but this Optic might be riding on another system in the near future, so I'm going to refrain from drizzling some of that blue goo on there for now. We do get 4 points of contact now with that plate, so let's get those last 2 screws on there and we are set. So what do you guys think? How does it look? I personally hate the look of optics that sit right on top of the slide without a cut. It looks super goofy to me. I'm liking the way it looks so far. But there is no co-witness with the irons in this configuration, or plastic sights I should say. If that's important to you, Walther was good enough to make those sights Glock compatible. I have a few extra pairs laying around, so I'll probably swap those out in the near future. Alright guys, what else do you guys want to see done to this gun? Next order of business will be to get a good zero on it and go from there. Hit that like and subscribe button so you can catch the next video in the series. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't be strangers. Essential Gear out.